Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for those who are new here, I am a Psychic Bella Love from psychicbellalove.com. You can book your own personal and private reading with me on this site. Use code BELLA20 for 20% off. So we're going to continue our Donald Trump reading. Real quick, I just want to show you guys the other thing I got at TJ Maxx, just in case anybody is like me who is kind of a girly girl, but you also have cold feet all the time during the winter. I got these little, they have like the little faux fur on the inside. They're so freaking comfy. I know they're kind of gaudy, but they're also kind of cute. So they're just gonna be my house shoes, but they'd actually be cute with just like a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. But just if anybody else was interested, because I don't know, I always like love the leopard print and stuff like that too. So we are going to ask, like, what are the things that Donald Trump is going to do on his way out of the White House, you know, because obviously that is a concern. You know, is he going to light the place on fire as he's walking out, or what? Because, you know, we're definitely, or get us in a war, or any of those kinds of things. It is scary because we know that he can be sort of vindictive. And so I just want to, you know, make sure so that way we can be prepared. And our commenter of the video that we're going to shout out is Strawberry Lowly. She's been amazing, kick-ass on those comments. So thank you so much. And then if you guys didn't catch my previous video, we are at 254 subscribers, so at 300, I'm going to do a giveaway. It will include a product from a Black-owned business as well as some kind of a reading, so make sure that you are subscribed to be eligible to enter for that. So let's go ahead and shuffle the cards. Spirit, please tell us what we need to know in regards to Donald Trump. Thank you for answering all of our questions. We are coming to you with the intention of understanding and clarity so that we can be prepared and protected for all that may come our way as Donald Trump transitions out of the White House. So please tell us, Spirit, what can we expect? What will he be doing? How will this all go for the American people? Thank you, Spirit. Please bless all that we ask about, as well as all who watch this video. Thank you. And disclaimer, this is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only. And my allergies are going crazy today, guys, because it's very windy here. 6, 7. So okay, so he's definitely in his feelings, and he will be making a lot of decisions based on feelings and not logic or other people's well-being in mind, because it's like, you know, if they're sitting there saying like, oh, well, you can pass Medicare for all before you leave the office, and instead of his decision being based on what he feels is in the best place for the American people, it's like, what is going to make life harder for Joe Biden when he takes over? That will be the decision that he makes on anything coming up, with this Page of Cups and Knight of Cups showing that any judgment calls on his behalf are going to be based off of emotion, and these are, you know, very immature emotions. So I also keep getting, you know, there's the Two of Cups, the Lover's card, and the Three of Cups. So these are all talking about partnerships, you know, because we've already addressed his romantic relationship in the last video. These are about partnerships that he feels are the most important, whether it's because they're scaring the F out of him and he has no choice but to work with them, or people that he feels that he can use to his best interests going forwards. So with the Two of Cups here, this one is actually a big part of his more like business relationships that he's going to be looking to further or maintain or build once he gets out of office. This Lover's card is actually, and I would probably go so far as to say a Putin or somebody very similar to Putin, where they have things on him and he owed them, and so he cannot get out of bed with them no matter what he does. Whether he is in office or not in office, he has to be in this partnership, because with this Five of Pentacles, if he tries to walk away from it, they're not going to let him get away. With this Ace of Swords in a clean way, if that makes sense. It's like, okay, well, you know, those PP tapes that everybody's been talking about for years, they will be on Twitter in 5 minutes. You still want to not do business with me anymore? You still want to back out of that? You still want to do, you know, cut ties? Alrighty. So this Three of Cups, what Spirit is saying is in regards to the people that he's trying to work with right now to, you know, recoup the election. But all of these partnerships, except for the one, you know, where it is that Putin or Putin-like figure, they're not working out in his favor. They're not going in his best interest. They're not, because it's like, I keep getting, in the sense of the people that he's trying to build future relationships with, they don't want anything to do with him, you know, and if they did have anything to do with him in the past, they're getting themselves out of it. So it's like, it could be as simple as people who are suppliers to his, like resorts and stuff, like, oh, we provide all the paper towels or whatever, them being like, we don't want to do this business with you anymore, all the way up to, I was actually going to partner up with Jay-Z, for example, and build this huge residential building that was going to have, you know, 12,000 units in it, was going to make us billions of dollars. Jay decided that he's going to go team up with 50 Cent and make that happen, and, you know, I got cut out of it. It's going to be a lot of that kind of stuff, but it's just simply people are refusing to deal with him, or they're completely walking away from him if there was already dealings in that sense. He can't get out of that connection that he has with that other person. We've talked about that. And then with the Three of Cups, what I keep getting is, you know, of course, these people that he's working with because they're trying to, you know, win back the election and whatnot. So we have this Queen of Wands and the Eight of Wands energy, which is that whoever is going to be leading his legal team or advising, like, or heading the advisory committee into like the election fraud that they're trying to claim and launch this investigation into, is gonna be a woman. And she is gonna be, you know, working, but obviously because we only have the Eight of Wands here instead of the 10, it keeps talking about them not being able to get what they need. So like I mentioned in that last video, he's got all these people pouring over all this information, trying to find a loophole to, you know, say, well, it says in Section A, Clause 3 that blah, blah, blah has to happen, and that didn't happen in this state. They're not finding those things. Like, they can't. It's like, and what Spirit's saying is, the funniest part is, there actually wouldn't, and it still wouldn't be enough to win their case, but there is still some precedent or something somewhere that they missed, that they could have thrown into it to give it at least a little more legitimacy. Because I keep hearing something about certain places are going to refuse to even entertain or allow there to be any challenges to their votes. Like, for example, you know, if they're trying to sue Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania's highest courts is blocking that and they're refusing to allow a recount, and they're unable to get that, like, and then it's like the federal court saying, we're not going to touch that one because we have other things that are on the docket or that are more important, or we agree with that, whatever the state's highest level of government's ruling was because they presented it the correct way. But there's just little vital pieces of information that they miss in all of their filings that could have at least made the courts have to take them more seriously, and they leave room for them to be able to give them these denials, is what Spirit is saying and what these cards are showing. Because behind that Eight of Wands and that Queen of Wands is this Seven of Cups and Nine of Swords. So again, there's little pieces of the bigger picture that you missed that would have helped your case, but yet it can't. So this Three of Cups partnership, which is only formed because of this, obviously is going to dissolve once their case does not pan out the way that they had planned. Okay, so what else do we have here? Okay, so we've got this Emperor with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, showing that he didn't get his way in this fight. Also, as he leaves with the Star card and the Sun, more and more information comes out about him, not only about what he did in office, but even more stuff from his past that really, like Spirit is saying, is extremely embarrassing to him. Like, literally somebody being like, oh, you know, nobody could ever walk into Donald's office in the Trump Towers because you'd either catch him farting or picking his nose, kind of stuff, where he's just really like, all they do is make a mockery of me. Like, he's gonna feel like he's being bullied, guys, even though he's the biggest bully. And of course, this is all part of his karma, and he's, you know, I think that he's always sort of attributed a lot of the mean things or whatever he would consider people saying about him as bullying. But now, because it is going to be on, like I said, a lot of personal things that are embarrassing to him being exposed, that he's really truly going to feel like he is being bullied in the worst sense of the word. But and Spirit's like referring to that Anderson Cooper remark about him being like an overweight turtle on its back or something. It's like that kind of stuff, and they're saying that was like sort of almost the beginning of it happening. So he's definitely going to be dealing with that coming at him for like every which way. And it is going to, with this Ace of Cups and Hermit card, really take a personal toll on him. Like, I keep feeling with this Four of Swords that he is going to just sort of be a recluse after a while. Like, not immediately, guys, because, of course, his ego is getting wounded when he has to actually leave. So he's going to be, of course, you know, having his Twitter crazy moments. And he's, of course, going to take every chance he can to tear apart the new administration's policies and any actions that they're taking, especially in the beginning. Because if they overturn anything that he did, he's going to be like, oh, now they're going to ruin everything that I worked so hard for. Congratulations, America. This is what you wanted, or something like that kind of stuff, you know? But then the more that he gets picked on, the more that he gets torn apart, he's really, truly going to start really pulling away from everybody. And like, they even keep talking about him pulling away from people in his personal life. And because, again, there's so many people that are going to be abandoning him, either because they're terrified that they no longer have protection by him being in the White House. And so it's like, we don't want that attention turned towards us if investigations start happening, all the way down to people just being like, yo, like, just, you know, that whole 4 years that we didn't talk because you were in the White House was not just about you being busy being president. It's also because I didn't want to be your friend anymore. So don't come out thinking we're going to have dinner tonight because I don't want to be associated with you. Look what you did. So he's really going to feel this really big shift where he's lost all of his power. He's losing his marriage. He's lost money. He's lost all of his respect. People are tearing him apart. He has to watch everybody praising the new people taking over his job. People are leaving him in droves. He's going to really feel like his world is crumbling around him and that things are really just, falling apart for him. And he's going to feel very abandoned and betrayed by people that he thought he could count on in the past. So, it is karma. We all have tower moments in life. We all have moments where everybody leaves us behind, but it's happening. There's also this big thing about Ivanka here, so I want to ask about her in a moment. With this Queen of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, and Eight of Pentacles, she's going to be overly concerned about her financial situation walking away from the White House as well. But also the other thing that Spirit is just saying to you, again, like I said, he's going to be making all these decisions based off of what is going to make life the absolute hardest, what's going to make Joe Biden's presidency so difficult and everything like that. But there is going to be some really kind of crazy, decisions that are made, him using executive power. But Nancy Pelosi will definitely challenge it. So if it's like he uses his executive power to try to exonerate like all of the people that got arrested because of him being in office, Nancy Pelosi is going to gather the masses, gather the troops, and block it as much as she possibly can. So anything that is too insane, there will be people trying to stand up and stop it, is what Spirit said. Not just Nancy, but obviously she would be probably one of the most outspoken or the leaders of it. But there is definitely still going to be people rising up and trying to put an end to things like that. So it's like, it's almost like he's going to spend a lot of his last days in office chasing his tail between him trying to prove the election was a fraud, trying to, get shit straightened out for his next chapter in his life, between him trying to pull off certain stunts and then everybody trying to fight it and keep it from happening. It really is going to be very dramatic. It's almost going to be like watching a soap opera at times, is the way that Spirit is describing this next couple months. Also, guys, I don't know why December 5th keeps coming up. Something about everything has to be decided by then, or like whether they all have to have made their decisions on that they're going to do their recount, or it has to have happened by then, and we have to know for sure 100% who the president is. But I don't know what that is. Maybe that's when the electoral college like makes their final decision or whatever. But I just keep getting December 5th as being a very important day, but us all being like, okay, so we knew. Like, like nothing changed. Trump didn't suddenly magically become president after all this. Like, it's still Biden. So let's see. Spirit, tell us what you wanted to show us in regards to Ivanka Trump. Why is Ivanka so worried about her life after her dad's presidency, and where will things go for her going forwards? Her dad really, you guys, wanted her to be the first female president and thought that he was going to set the stage for her to do so. But Spirit is saying that she, like, honestly doesn't even really care to do that after seeing what he went through. And also, now Donald is looking at it pissed off because he firmly believes that Kamala is going to be the first female president. So he's mad because he's like, oh, well, like Biden screwed that up for us too. You guys, the way that he harps on Obama, Biden's about to get it so much worse from him because now it's personal, you know, like in his mind. Like before, he just didn't like Biden because he was connected to Obama because he hates Obama. Now he really truly believes that it is a whole personal vendetta against Joe Biden and that they are like mortal enemies. Although I will explain at the end my spiritual aha moment that I had last night with all of this. So, okay, well, Ivanka feels that so much stuff is going to pop off after her dad leaves, and that really, like, she really has this very deep-rooted fear that her whole entire world is going to fall apart now. It's so crazy. It's like, even a month ago, she didn't think that. But just seeing the reactions of people, the things that are starting to come out, the things that have been said, realizing how little support her father actually truly had because a lot of the people that did support him last time around no longer did. And I'm talking about like powerful and rich people, not just like, you know, the average Americans. Because come on, it's Ivanka Trump. Do you think she gives a shit about Nancy in Wisconsin? Not at all. Not unless Nancy in Wisconsin like solely only wears Ivanka Trump TJ Maxx wardrobe or something. Like, Ivanka wouldn't give two craps about her. But it's about the powerful people that, you know, they used to rub elbows with and everything, and not having access to those people in those circles any longer. And so it's not only the worries so much about the political stuff, the legal things, you know, all of that kind of stuff that could come down the pipeline, but she is, with this high priestess, overseeing everything and seeing, like, we're not going to get invited to that charity event. We're not going to be allowed to go to, you know, so-and-so society wedding, you know, and these balls and galas and things like that. And to her, she's seeing that as those opportunities to work with those people are all going to disappear. The clout's going away. Because to her, her world is no longer this 10 of cups of fulfillment, and it's going to be dark and dreary. Because we also have the 6 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. This is, again, all about all of these opportunities being taken away, and it's going to affect everything that we do in a financial way, you know. So she's definitely not going to be, I mean, she might try to revive her clothing line, but it's not going to go anywhere. She has some very big fights ahead of her with this Knight of Swords and the 5 of Swords. She's being forced into this Queen of Swords situation where she's going to have to stand up and fight against a lot of people. And all she wants to do is just run away and hide with this Hermit card. But because they are coming at her, like, so quick, so fast, out of everywhere with these Ace of Cups and Ace of Wands, it's like it's always coming, and there's always something coming at me. There's always something coming out. So it's, even if it's not like an actual battle, it's that battle going on in her head when she's on Twitter and everybody's tearing her and her family apart. And she sees, like, okay, I was trying to launch, you know, my next handbag collection on QVC, but everybody hates us, so who the hell would even buy it? Like, I don't, you know. And then the next thing she knows, QVC is calling her and telling her, well, we're not actually going to go ahead and premiere your products on our program because we just don't feel like there would be any financial support there for it. It's like a lot of that stuff is going to be coming her way. And so, like, Spirit just keeps talking about, like, this girl is going to be exhausted from the amount of battles that she's going to have to fight because of her connection to her father. She's actually looking back at this whole situation too, like, I should not have ever gotten as involved as I did. Like, that is always going to be her biggest regret, that she was such a staunch supporter of her father out in public, that she got so involved with everything, because what was literally only her thinking that she was supporting her father in his career has now come back to destroy her personally. She has a huge tower moment coming to you guys, and there's this hero fan crossing it and being the initiator of it. So I'm going to ask if she has some really big legal issues coming her way too, because it's like there's, you know, it just feels that way. But also, there's this King of Wands with this Page of Pentacles and Five of Wands. So she's going to have a lot of lawsuits coming at her also. And with this Page of Wands and Knight of Wands following it, it's going to be people that worked for her, like alleging that she was like a horrible employer and mistreated them, didn't pay them. It might be like, oh my God, you were running a slave labor thing, because I feel it's from both people who worked in the White House with her as well as people in her other businesses and stuff that she had before they took over. So let's see. And you guys, she's gonna have to completely separate herself from her family at some point. And she will spend the rest of her life with this Ten of Wands trying to rebuild everything that she has lost. Like, Ivanka started off having a pretty cushy, easy life, and the rest of her life is going to get really, really difficult. Spirit, what is going on with Ivanka? Is she facing jail? Is she facing divorce? What is this Tower card moment for Ivanka, Spirit? Please give us clarity on this. Okay. All right. Yeah. Whew. Okay. So what this is showing me is, you know, there is a wait before this Tower card moment happens for her. But when it does again, she is definitely going to be sitting there thinking about what she should have done instead of what she did do. Because here comes the Wheel of Fortune turning. With this Ace of Swords and this Justice card and this Three of Cups, she's definitely facing a really bad legal situation, probably prison time. And with that Three of Swords ending with it, it is because of her involvement with somebody else, being her dad in his campaign, and her getting the worst outcome. So that would be jail time. And she's going to be trying to appear as this Queen of Cups to the judge. But with this Five of Pentacles, you know, it's like trying very hard. I'm a mom. I have kids. You know, like I was just doing what I was told. I don't know. I never worked in politics before, so how could I? Her dad is actually going to be really trying hard to get Ivanka out of being responsible for anything, because he shows up as this King of Cups, also emotionally pleading for her to have some leniency. That doesn't work, so then he tries the financial situation with this King of Pentacles, and when that doesn't work, he turns into the King of Swords trying to defend her. But there's only so much that he can do because he's got his own shit coming against him. And so with this Eight of Swords, it doesn't work out for either one of them, whatever they try to do to get out of this or to get her to, you know, get any sort of like, because it keeps talking about like, okay, well, if you are going to hold her accountable, give her the Lori Loughlin, Felicity Huffman kind of sentencing where, you know, in reality, both of them could have been charged with millions of dollars in fines and like years and years in prison. But instead, you know, they each did some community service, paid a smaller fine, and then, you know, took a nap at prison for a couple weeks. They're going to be trying to bargain for that to happen. However, because that's coming up with the 7 of Cups and 8 of Pentacles, and I keep hearing something about house arrest. Like, oh, you can put her on house arrest. But even with these choices that are being presented to whoever is overseeing everything as this judge, and it's going to be a female judge when it comes to Ivanka's outcome is this 4 of Swords, where she actually does have to, that's my jail card. Like, she's actually going to have to go to jail for a while. I keep getting the numbers 5 and 6, so I think that if we want to be kind towards Ivanka, we'll pray that that means 5 and 6 months, but I don't get that that's what's going to be the result. I think it's going to be more years. She'll still be at Club Fed, guys. I mean, she's not going to be like at freaking Rikers or San Quentin, you know, where she's going to have to be out in the yard with a shiv and fighting everybody every day. But I also don't doubt that she wouldn't get her ass kicked by somebody in there at least once, or get her hair pulled. I was only laughing because I was literally imagining Ivanka like in the prison yard corner, like with her little like sharpened toothbrush, like, come at me, fool, come at me, I'm gonna get you, like these women like surrounding her, you know. It was just the funniest image. I couldn't help it. Okay, Spirit, is there any more messages that you want to give us in regards to what is to come next for Donald Trump? And then we will go. I got to eat something. I got to go drink some hot tea because my voice is like obviously going out, guys, because I have been just dealing with the craziest allergies this week. It's my fault. I cried. I said I wanted fall so bad, and yet, you know, we get it, and then that brings the allergies, and then I'm like, why did I say that? So, I think part of me wanting fall to come so bad was I just wanted to get to January. It's like, can we just hand it over already, please? It's going to be really amazing to actually turn on our TV and the news and see President Biden and Vice President Harris like addressing us and actually giving us answers that make sense about things, you know, like when it's like, what are we doing about COVID? Well, we have more blah 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 and bigly, and then it's like, but when was the question answered, you know, where he's just yelling at people or threatening to fire people, or it's not that bad, or we did a better job than China, or this or that. To actually have people on the stage that are like, this is what we are doing. We met with doctors this morning. This is the status that we're at with developing a vaccine. We still need you guys to wear masks. Like, can you imagine? I can't wait for that. That is the thing that I look forward to the absolute most, you guys. So, you know, again, this Lovers card, flanked by the Devil, flanked by the 10 of Wands. Trump, you will never rid yourself of your butt buddy Putin, because he has so much on you that you just can't. Also, there's a woman that he has been involved with on and off. She is going to use this shit out of you and be a part of your karma coming your way. So whoever you've been having an affair with, and Spirit is saying it's been over the last 2 years, she's going to be a part of your downfall, bud, because there's something about her stealing some very sensitive information, getting a hold of it, and then releasing it. I feel like people will speculate that they had a relationship, and I feel like people are going to, you know, maybe people around them will say like, oh, we thought that they were, or whatever, but she'll never confirm it, and neither is he. Obviously, like, he's gonna have enough going on. That's the last thing that he's gonna worry about anyways, like confirming or denying any sort of affair with somebody. But also because it's just like, oh god, like, hey guys, I know I'm a horrible person, but I'm not that bad. Like, please don't associate me with a cheater on top of it. And to her, of course, obviously, like, that's embarrassing to her. And she's only been involved with him for the purpose of using him, both for her career, and also it's like she collected all this information to protect herself if need be. Like, if you try to screw with me, or you threaten to fire me, or you do anything to me, I'm releasing this stuff about you. But he doesn't know that she has it. So when it does get released, like, he's gonna know she's the only person that could have gotten it. Because I don't feel it being attached to her. Like, she comes out. I don't feel like it's like Hope Hicks comes out and says, well, guess what? Donald Trump shot up with heroin every morning in his desk. Like, she's not going to do that. But, like, maybe pictures of him doing that, like, surface. And then it's just like, but he would know. She's the only person that saw me do that. But he can't say anything to her. He can't do anything about it. Because then it will show what, like, it's almost like him confirming it. And then also then adding fuel to that fire of, well, they must, I always thought they were having an affair. They seemed weird with each other or whatever. He's just really, guys, again, just like I said about Ivanka, he's going to be so busy fighting battle after battle after battle well, really now it's starting, but it's going to get, hit its peak as he is walking away from the White House. The Nine of Swords is just basically like the rest of his life. It really is. Also, Spirit is saying that Ivanka and her husband will get a divorce. He's going to move on fine without her, guys. Not as in he won't go to jail too or anything like that. But what I mean is he's the one that, like, he actually, for some snarky, nasty reason, has more of a life outside of all of this once, all the chips fall where they may. Like, once he's out of jail, like, he'll actually be able to find a career again or things like that. Ivanka won't. And honestly, too, Ivanka right now, like, is already thinking about divorcing him. She's wanted to for a long time. She has some sort of weird plan in her head that she thinks that she could go, like, if she had to. Like, if I absolutely had to, I could go marry, like, some Saudi Arabian prince and live over there and just be a princess and still have, like, my rich, cushy life. And, like, she has no compunction about that either. Like, there's no, like other people, I mean, she would marry, like, Hitler if she thought that it would protect her and, like, give her everything that she wants in life. Let's be honest. And so it's just, like, she doesn't feel bad about that. Like, she doesn't really care. It's like, I already did everything to society's expectations of me. I pretended to be who you wanted me to be. Like, if you guys are going to tear me apart, I don't really care. You can see the witch side of who I am. Because she really, like, is kind of, like, she does have, like, kind of that witchy energy to me. So, I mean, really, him, his whole family, they're just going to be fighting battles, trying to put things back together, being extremely worried about their financial situation, not being very happy. And there's just a lot of deceit and manipulation that is going to come out about everybody around them and them as well. So we're going to go ahead and stop the video there. And then just real quick, I was going to say, I always like to look at what is the deeper spiritual meaning in everything that has happened. And I said this the entirety of Trump's presidency. If Hillary had won, because she is so adept at being a career politician, a lot of the things that happened, yes, they would have been handled better. However, there is a lot of stuff that we would never ever have known that goes on within the government. So a big part of Trump winning was, in a spiritual sense, exposing everything and allowing people to expose themselves by having this magical thought that you could just say and do whatever you wanted because he did that. And so we became very aware of who the racists in our families and our neighborhoods really were. We became aware of how corrupt our justice system is even more. You know, same thing with coronavirus, where it put us in a situation where we had nothing to do but sit down and pay attention. And when you're forced to focus on things, then it's too easy to forget or tell yourself it's no longer going on. And so his spiritual purpose was not only to expose a lot of what we needed to see, but also it was a group karma gathering. Because if you see that everybody that jumped so quickly to do all these crazy things that they shouldn't have been doing, they all were taken out one by one like a domino as well, but they all jumped to join him, right? So we got to see who are the really truly evil people that wanted to connect with him, and through that process they were exposed and they were taken down, and now Trump being the leader is the last to fall. But on top of that, when you think about this, Joe Biden, back when they were gathering the Democratic candidates for the 2016 election, was polling at a 75% acceptance rate against all party lines. And the Democratic Party was really truly pushing him to run, and they wanted him over Hillary because they knew that he would be a shoo-in to beat Trump. Joe Biden said, and this is public record, you can look it up in a GQ interview that he did during the election time, and this was after Hillary had become the candidate. I think it was right before the 2016 election. They asked him why he didn't run, and he said, not only was it because he had just lost his son and he didn't want to go through the rigors of campaigning while he was also dealing with grief, and he felt like it was more important for his family to have that time to be together and bond and heal, that he also, out of respect for Hillary, did not want to run against her because he knew that it was really important to her to do that, and that he did not want to have to run against somebody that he had so much respect for and had become such a good friend with when they had worked together in Obama's cabinet. Now we see that, you know, Hillary won the popular vote and the Electoral College picked Trump anyways. I believe that Biden was literally the only person in a spiritual sense, and this is part of his destiny, to be able to beat Trump. Biden was the David to Trump's Goliath. And we see that he was the one that actually was able to take him out, and the only one who would have been able to at this point. And so he's fully stepping into his destiny, as well as raising Kamala up into hers. So there is a very big spiritual purpose in all of this, in that everything that needed to be fixed was dug up to be broken to be able to be fixed and exposed to the light, so that we knew what we needed to focus on. And now we are entering into the next step, which is addressing and fixing those things and doing and leading with love. So I hope that that explains that. And like I said, that was my little spiritual epiphany, because I always look for the spiritual meaning in everything. Trust me, if you come to my house and you spill ketchup on my floor, we will find a spiritual reason for it. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you are subscribed, like, comment, do all the things. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it is Psychic Bella Love. If you wanted to book a reading on my site, it is psychicbellalove.com. Use code BELLA20 for 20% off your reading. I do shout outs to my commenters in each video, so I hope you guys are appreciating that, because I appreciate you. And once we get to 300 subscribers, we will be doing our first giveaway. So I'm looking forward to doing that for you guys as well. So I hope that you have the most blessed of days, and I love you. Bye.